Are we gonna be getting on Zoom as well? Sure. Do you two have a name tag? Or did I give you one already? Or- Mhm. Did you name one? I don't know, this one's yours? Yes. Okay. I thought the new place will allow it. Okay. Okay, everyone. Did you get any extra printed paper?
I can go grab some of it.
Actually, I don't. I can probably write something to just grab that. Was it you that joined Zoom, by the way?
No.
Oh, okay, so then I probably obviously, yeah. Can you hear me okay here, Alicia?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let me know if you can't hear me at all.
No, I do.
Okay, sounds good. Um, we might have another person join us on Zoom, we'll see. If he's struggling to get it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You want to go over those part then?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna make sure that he's able to get in, so I'll, whenever you, or you're ready to start. Are you ready? Okay, you want to go next slide then?
Yes.
Okay. I'll let you do this. I'll let you open up. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna double check that in recording to make sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. So today we're gonna get started with warm up, and it's gonna be the capitalization challenge. Because I know we've been getting a lot of questions on what words should be and should not be capitalized when we're writing our sentences. So today for our warm up, we're gonna go over what the rules are to capitalization and what that's gonna look like when you guys are writing out. So for the capitalization rules, the first rule is capitalize the first letter in every sentence. So I guess that's pretty basic, but that's the first rule. The second rule is capitalize the first letter of proper nouns. And then the third rule is capitalize the pronoun I. So whenever you write a sentence, you use the word, the letter I, referring to yourself, that needs to be capitalized. And then number 4 is capitalize titles, events, periods, location, family relationships, months, holidays, and days themselves. And for example, we have the most common one that we've been getting the problem with is when to capitalize the word flag. So if we're just generally referring to a flag, we just say the flag is red, white, and blue for our sentence. In that sentence, the F in flag would be lowercase. But if we're specifically saying or calling the American flag is red, white, and blue, that is when we uppercase or we make the F uppercase in that word. And so for another example over here, president is also another pretty tricky one. So if we're referring to President Barack Obama, President Joe Biden, if we say President Jimmy Carter, then that's when we are saying his entire name, and that is when we would make the P uppercase in that situation. And then if we're just saying Jimmy Carter, the former president of the United States, that is when we are putting the P lowercase. So if we're saying it with his name or it's a part of his title, that is when we will make the P uppercase. Or if we're talking to the president, if you guys have the chance to, if you say Mr. President or you write out Mr. President on anything, it'll be Mr. And then the P would be capitalized because it is taking place of Jimmy Carter. Okay, are we getting that? Any questions?
Yeah, so when you say George Washington was the first president, that P is capital or lowercase?
Lowercase. Because you're just saying,
Okay.
you're just generalized. So when you use president, if you're just saying the position, or if you're explaining what he does, the president is he's the chief diplomat of the country, you wouldn't capitalize the P in president. But if you say President Obama is the chief diplomat of the country,
Then it's capital.
then it's capital. Are we getting that? Does that make sense?
So George Washington was the first president, is
Not yet.
lowercase.
Correct.
President George Washington, then the P would be capital. So if it's a part of his name like this, President Jimmy Carter, then it would be capitalized. But if the president is on a different part of the sentence or it's not right here, then it would be lowercase. Same for flag. If flag is just by itself and you're just generally talking about flag, then it will be lowercase. But if you say the American flag, the Mexican flag, the Canadian flag, then the F in flag will be uppercase. All right.
Repeat the flag.
Hmm?
Repeat with flag.
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
So if you're saying the flag is red, white, and blue, lowercase f. If you're saying the American flag is red, white, and blue, then the F would be uppercase.
Okay.
Because you're saying the American flag, the Mexican flag, Canadian flag.
When we said I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, that flag is capital because we say of the United States of America.
United States of America would be.
We will play when we the pledge of allegiance,
Mhm.
that F is capital because it's the same example of the American flag.
If you pledge allegiance to the flag
To
of the
flag,
United States of America, then it would be no.
But in my school, in the poster is with capital F.
So it's very inconsistent in the English language,
Great.
but just know that we actually did research. It would not be,
That's why.
it would not be capitalized.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so to practice, we printed you guys out some little packet. And then you guys are just gonna underline the words or letters, whatever you guys feel more comfortable with, of the words that should be capitalized. And then after you guys finish, we're gonna go back over them and then talk about the answers and answer any questions that you guys have.
I uploaded capitalization challenge on here. You will see this document. If you open this document, you will see sentences written on here. Your job is to just rewrite the sentences with the correct capitalization and submit it. Can you guys find that? Do you, everyone on Zoom, do you guys see this on here? Alicia?
I gotta open the how they call the Zoom, the
Google
Google.
Classroom? You
Yeah.
have it open? Okay, were you able to find the form?
No, hold on. I'm gonna open right now.
Okay, sounds good. Just know it's the very first one on here. It was posted on 4:47 p.m. Tiffany. Were you
The
able to
first
find-
one? The first
I'm
one?
sorry. Yep, it
The
should be the first one.
capitalism.
Yep,
capital-
capitalization challenge. That's the one.
Okay.
So
Okay.
your job on Zoom, there's sentences here. Just retype the sentences, but add the proper capitalization to the sentences.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let me
Alright.
know if you have any questions.
Okay.
Is there plenty of copies left over?
Yes.
What I needed. Or did I just? Or did you-
You don't have to write it. You can just underline like you did today. Yeah, we're just underlining. You don't have to write the correct answer next to it.
Okay. Okay, I think it would be best to just have them tell out loud what they capitalize instead of writing them on the board,
Yeah.
because it's a long
Yeah.
presentation to do. So how much time do you think we should give them right now?
I can work it out and then just see where they're at pretty much.
Just to put a timer, but yeah,
Probably like 7 minutes, so we don't have too much time. Maybe we want to do less than that. Maybe 5. So
we'll start with 5 and we'll see if anyone needs more time.
yeah, that's not very much. Yes.
Do we not want to use that second fan? That second fan on the door, is that the,
Oh, yeah, you want to plug that in?
I think your mom was adjusting the back so there's airflow. Can you do that? How are we doing on Zoom? Any questions on those sentences? You help? Okay, cool.
Sí, mira, de hecho. Pues me había con ese, luego otro y ahora sí. Los meses me dicen, sí, soy amplia. Porque dice que no llame nadie hasta julio.
Are you on the Zoom, Sydney? Okay.
Steve, I just looked up your question, the pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I looked it up on ChatGPT and it is working.
Okay, because I
I
am
was-
crazy with the capital lower because I see different versions.
I was just thinking about it and I was like, it could be, and then I
The
just looked it up.
poster in my classroom
I think a lot of people capitalize things for the aesthetics of it. That's just how I see it, because sometimes I'm randomly capitalizing words that I feel should be capitalized because it looks right, but it's not.
English
It's-
language. English language is weird.
It is.
English language seems like a slogan all the time.
See, it's very inconsistent, but we did look it up, so. As long as you stick with these prompts right here, you should be good.
So for example, the days and months in Spanish is with lowercase.
Mm-hmm.
And here is like a noun,
Correct. It's a name, so it's capitalized.
not for us.
Right. Does everyone need more time still on those sentences? That's you? Okay. Do we need more time on those sentences, everyone? Or are we good to move on?
Is everybody okay? Is everybody good for the most part? Okay. So for number one, the T in the should be capitalized, the W in white and H in house should be capitalized. The W in Washington and the DC should all be capitalized. Going to number two, the T in the should be capitalized.
Can everyone on Zoom hear Sydney, by the way?
Any questions?
No, not
You
really.
can't.
It's blurry. Like blurry, how do you say?
Okay, let me fix that for a
Jeez.
second.
I cannot hear anything.
No, it wasn't, but
Oh.
now it was.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. For number four, the P in president should be capitalized, the D in day should be capitalized, and the F in February should be capitalized. For
What?
number five, the W in we should be capitalized, and that's it.
Not 100.
No, not 100. For number six,
The five is one and one,
huh?
and the five is one and one.
Yes, the W and we should be capitalized. For number six, the T in the and the C in Congress should be capitalized. For number seven, the C in Congress should be capitalized, the W in Washington and the DC should all be capitalized. For number eight, the W in we should be capitalized, nothing else.
We have to put the period at the end.
Mhm. And then number nine, the W in Washington is capitalized and dollar bill is not capitalized. Yes.
Number 8, taxes.
Taxes? No, should not.
And the dollar is, no.
For number 10, the B in Barack, O in Obama should both be capitalized. And then the P in president should be capitalized, the U in United and the S in state should be capitalized, and that's it.
And president two here?
Because you're referring to the president of the United States.
Okay. Oh, okay, got it.
Because you're being more specific, that's why.
It's a title.
So let me tell you, that a lot of Americans don't have capitalized correctly.
Correct?
A lot of Americans don't have Okay, okay.
Yeah, no, you
Because
guys
I
got the only
see
one.
like,
I still
people
want
from my job, putting notes on the fridge, and they are not as specific.
Yes. Yeah, you're right, but I got these on chat GPT, so I don't know. That's about it. But yeah, that does make sense, though.
I think it's making like the app, like if, I think if it was like the, where you have this all combined in one, this P would be capitalized. But if it's.
Oh, I see what, I see what it is. I see what it is. Because, so, which one? Did you call? Which one?
It was the president, I don't remember which one. No, yeah, that's a valid question. That's a valid question.
Yeah, very weird.
So I think if we were to combine it all like this, that would be a whole title right there.
Yeah.
So that in that case, P would be capitalized.
Mhm.
So this would be capitalized.
I think even online's kind of confused because I got this example offline. Is
Like
what-
it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's very weird. I got both of the examples online. Even online, it's kind of confusing. Huh? 10, the B in Barack, the O, and then the P in President of the United States.
Maybe the comma changes.
It could be the comma, but let's see. If it was a comma, it wouldn't make sense if the comma was somewhere else.
But these subtle things, how come we are not gonna know about this?
Well, that's the thing, like, that's why they're not specific about it on the interview.
Because even.
Even Wikipedia has problems.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to number 11. The T is capitalized, the W and H in White House is capitalized, the D and T in Donald Trump is capitalized, and that's it.
Sydney, you keep walking further away.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're kidding about the Zoom.
I'm like
but-
chasing after you.
For number 12, the J in Joe and the B in Biden is capitalized. And then the United States is capitalized.
Barack Obama, and there is no comma. So I have a question with that P in the number. Because we have the number 10 and we have that example. So one of the three has to be incorrect. It's a logical scenario.
Which one?
President of the United States, you say that is with capital, like in number 10. So Joe Biden is the current president. Current change the P or what?
So
I think so,
current-
because current and former is like, kind of say current and former. And then on here, it's also lowercase. And then when you're just saying president of the president of the United States is capitalized. I don't know why it's like that, but.
Okay.
Is it just current president, period?
No,
No, it's
Joe Biden is the current president of the United States.
so it's like this sentence right here.
I see.
I don't know why it's like that. I should probably look it up. I will look it up after I said.
We'll make note of this sentence specifically.
When is that president? It has to have the article,
Yeah, I think it's because it's talking about the title of the president and not the
the
president.
article,
I don't
like that president will be captain.
know. Okay.
¿Cómo vamos a saber esta mierda?
I'm
Ay,
looking,
perdón.
I'm looking. Okay, for 13, the G and W in George Washington is capitalized. And then just the United States. And then Abraham Lincoln is capitalized, and then Civil War.
Okay, so number 13, first makes the P small,
Yes,
like current makes the P small or former.
because I think it is talking about the title of the presidency and not the president.
Okay.
That might be it. The title is, it's talking about like the actual job of the president and not the president. Does that make more sense? All right, thank you. I have to figure that out for a second. All right. Now, yeah.
Abraham,
Thank you. All right. The M and E in Mount Everest is capitalized.
No, we are in Abraham Lincoln, number 14.
We did that one.
Is which one?
14,
14? Sorry. A,
Oh,
capital.
A and L capital, and then the C and W is capital.
The civil.
And then 15 is M and E is capital in Mount Everest, and then the H in Himalayas. And then 16, the T, A, and R in the Amazon River are all capitalized. And then the F is Francisco, and then the O.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Orellana.
Yeah. That's capitalized. And then 17,
CNC.
the C and C are capitalized, and then the A in Americas is capitalized. And then 18, Africa is capitalized, and that's it. 19, Antarctica is capitalized. 20, the Thomas Jefferson is capitalized. Founding Fathers is capitalized,
Oh, okay.
and Declaration of Independence.
Double X and the D and the I.
is the O is not capitalized though.
What was not capitalized?
O in Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, O is not capitalized. You don't capitalize the two.
Founding of fathers.
Which one? 20.
20 is T and J and Thomas Jefferson is capitalized. Founding Fathers is capitalized, and Declaration of Independence, but not the O is capitalized. The O of is not capitalized. For 21, the legislative branch, I'm sorry, just the T is capitalized, and then.
The L.
Mm-mm. And then,
It's not the L.
no.
No?
And then the United States is capitalized. And then Senate and House of Representatives is capitalized. 22, judicial branch. No, I'm sorry. Just the T is capitalized. And then Chief Justice John Roberts is all capitalized.
So the C in chief.
Yes, the C in Chief, the J in Justice, and then John Roberts' name is capitalized. 23, just the T is capitalized. And then 24, the C in Congress is capitalized.
R.
Senate is capitalized. House of Representatives is capitalized. And then United States is capitalized. There we go.
So they allow mistakes like this
Yes.
sometimes.
You are fine if you make a mistake on capitalization, but that was just to try and help clear it up. I know it might have made it more difficult, but if you are worried about capitalization for the writing portion of the test, don't be, because that is not what they're looking for. Okay? Also, they're not picky on punctuation and commas or anything like that. So don't worry about that. Just worry about spelling them right and getting as many words as they say onto the tablet that you write it. And then now it's that.
Before we move on, do you have any questions on this? Okay, cool. All right, everyone on Zoom was able to catch all that? Just let me know in chat if you weren't, or if you have any questions. I'm gonna move on. So we're gonna do a review now from Tuesday. If I can get everyone's attention, please. Okay. So, raising your hand, can someone name one state that borders Canada? Maria? New York. Okay, anyone else? Rosa? Maine? Okay. Farah, you had your hand up? Oh, you were gonna say New York too? Luis? Alaska? Anyone else? Sorry? Minnesota? Michigan? Okay. Those are all good answers. Michigan's here, Minnesota, Alaska, Maine, New York. So good job. And then there's also New Hampshire, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington. Those are all good answers. So whichever you remember easiest is best, but just know you only need to know one of them. Raising your hand, can you name one state that borders Mexico? Farah? New Mexico, California, Texas. I'm sorry, where? Oh, okay. What do you have on Zoom?
California.
California, yes. Thank you for raising your hand. Anyone else? Arizona? So California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. There's only 4 this time, but you do only need to know 1, so. Oh, shift alt. Raising your hand, can you tell me where the Statue of Liberty is back there? New York? New York Harbor? Did you have a different answer? Not quite. You can all, you're close. It's like in the same East Coast area. So you could say New York or New York Harbor. You could say Liberty Island as well. You can also say New Jersey, near New York City, or on the Hudson River. Those are all appropriate answers. What is the capital of the United States? Maria? Washington, D.C. Good job. Can someone name one of the 2 longest rivers in the United States? Rosa?
Mississippi River.
I'm sorry?
Mississippi River.
Back there? Oh. What were you gonna say back there? Okay. And you said Missouri River? So Mississippi or Missouri, the river is optional. You just need to know one. Can someone name one U.S. territory? Perla?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, thank you. And what did you say, Perla? Oh, Puerto Rico too. Rosa? Guam, yes. Guam? Anyone else?
Mariana Island.
Yes, Mariana Islands. Anyone else? Any other answers? It's okay. So yeah, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, and Guam. You just need to know one. Okay. Any questions on that review? Nice and short. So let's move on with our civics lesson today. We're going to be talking about the 3 branches of government. This one's going to be a long one, so get ready. So our 3 branches of government composes of our executive president, which enforces the law and makes sure people follow the law. We have the legislative Congress, which makes the law, and the judicial courts, they decide if the law follows the Constitution. The way I like to remember it is executive is like your executive person, so the head person, so like your president. The legislative, L for law, and then judicial, J for judge, which is where they decide. That's how I like to remember it, but you guys can decide what's best for you. Oh, sure. So executive is someone who's like the head. So that would be the president. So if you doesn't know what executive is, you know it's the president. Our legislative starts with L, and they make laws. So law starts with L as well. That's how I like to remember that. And then judicial, J matches with judge, and they decide if the law follows the Constitution. Any other questions? So why do we have 3 branches? So the Constitution separates the government powers into 3 branches, and this is to stop one person or group from having too much power. This is called separation of powers or checks and balances. You guys do need to know this. It's on your questions. Separations of powers gives each branch their own job and responsibility. But all branches are equal but separated. Or sorry, separated but equal. So, like I said before, we have the legislative, which is where they have our laws being made. And they have Congress, which breaks down into House of Representatives and Senate. Our White House, which is the executive branch, which contains our president and vice president. And we have the Supreme Court, which is our judicial branch. And this is where you have the federal and state courts and where all those judges are. Give you guys some time to write that down. Okay. We good to move on? So the three branches of government, an example of separation in powers is that Congress and legislative makes the laws, like I mentioned. Our president / executive branch signs or vetoes, which is rejecting laws. And our Supreme Court's judicial branch decides if the laws are constitutional. The three branches have to work together. And I actually do have this short video here for everyone.
You sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. I hope and pray that I will, but today I'm still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't a bill. I was just an idea. The folks back home decided they wanted a law, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." And he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee and I'll sit here and wait. Well, a few key congressmen discuss whether they should let me be or hope and pray that they will. But today I'm still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. There's all that discussion and debate about you.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to win. I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. Hope and pray that he will. But today I'm still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time it's over.
By that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I'm still just a bill. Besides the bill, now you're a law. Oh, yeah.
Just a cute little video showing you guys how bills become laws and how the structure of the government works in order to reach that. Oops, I don't want that. There we go. Shift H. Perfect. So let's continue on and talk about the rule of law. It's there to help protect the rights of all the people in democratic society. A democratic society is the respect for each person and the right to make their own choices. The rule of law states everyone must follow the law, leaders must obey the law, government must obey the law, no one is above the law. This is important. It's part of your 100 questions. And this states that everyone has to follow the law no matter what position you are or who you are. So let's talk about the executive branch. In the executive branch, we have a president. We elect the president for 4 years. A president can serve no more than 2 terms, which is 8 years. We vote for a new president in early November, and this is normally on a Tuesday. We vote for a new president every 4 years. People do not want someone like a king to have all the power for life or to stay in one family. They wanted people to vote for a president. Since we are a democracy, we all have a right to pick who we want to rule. Not rule, I guess, but to represent us. So the powers of a president. The president can decide to sign bills. By signing this, it turns a bill into a law, like we saw in the video. Every law starts in Congress. If Congress agrees and passes a proposal or bill, it is then sent to the president. And then there he'll sign it or veto it. The president has the power to pass or deny, which is veto, a bill. The president is commander-in-chief of the military. But just because he is the commander-in-chief, this does not mean that he can make all the decisions himself. Congress still needs to approve most of the president's decisions. This ensures checks and balances, and that not all power belongs to one group or branch. That's the one thing we're always trying to avoid, is just giving one group of people power. Or too much power, I should say. Our president is Joe Biden. He is our 46th president. He is a Democrat. He was Barack Obama's vice president back in 2009 and 2017. He was a senator for Delaware for 36 years. And this is what he looks like over here.
I don't understand.
Sure.
He was Barack Obama's vice president. That P should be capital, because if vice is capital, P is capital.
Correct.
Okay.
I was in a rush. That was my excuse. That's a lot of Americans. When we're typing, we're in a rush. We don't really care too much.
And he's our 46th president. That P will be capital too? Or lowercase?
Lowercase. Because it's not a title, it's just the person itself that you're not talking about.
So then the first one, our president's name, that P is lower. Instead of capital. I don't know.
Yeah, that should be lower.
Okay. It's just, I am trying to get the capitalization.
Yeah, and there's lots of resources online too if you want to look into those on your own time, or if you want to stay after class, we can look through those together.
And senator is no.
It's okay. We'll look, if you have any questions, we'll go through class. I just do have a lot to cover. No, it's okay. It's a very valid question. But we can definitely discuss it after class if you're interested. So our vice president is Kamala Harris, and she is our very first female vice president and the first Black woman and Indian woman. Our president's cabinet. The president's cabinet advises the president. The cabinet includes of secretaries of 14 departments, a vice president, and the attorney general. The president surrounds himself with people he trusts to help make important decisions. So the cabinet consists of the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of Interior, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, and Attorney General, and the Vice President. I believe this shot was taken during like COVID, so they're all distancing themselves, but they're all here. And this is also, you need to know 2 of these, I believe, on the 100 questions. So political parties. The Constitution did not establish political parties. I think we briefly talked about how George Washington was not a part of a political party. This was established later. It naturally formed as people had different views and thoughts. The 2 major political parties in the United States are Democratic and Republican parties. You do not have to be a member of a party. So what if the president dies or can no longer serve? The vice president becomes the new president. And if it's still within the 4 years, there is no new election, the vice president immediately becomes the new president. So if Joe Biden dies, who becomes the next president? Kamala Harris. Good job. So what if both the president and vice president can no longer serve? The Speaker of the House becomes a president. The Speaker of the House is in charge of the House of Representatives, and our Speaker of the House is Kevin McCarthy. No, I did not change that. Mike Johnson. I was like, wait, that does not sound right. I read that. Does not sound right. Mike Johnson, yes. And I changed it later too. Mike Johnson. Let me fix that right now before I forget. Mike Johnson. No, N. Oh my God, N. There we go. So yes, this is our Speaker of the House right now, Mike Johnson. Before I forget and upload this and you guys have the wrong information. Okay. So now let's move on to our legislative branch. The U.S. Capitol is a building where the U.S. Congress meets. It is located in Washington, D.C. The U.S. Congress makes federal laws. If you look at the building, you can see that it is symmetrical. That is because Congress is made up by 2 parts. The symmetrical symbolizes equality. I even added a little line here, but if you notice, the building is exactly the same on both sides. The U.S. Congress has 2 parts. There's the Senate and the House of Representatives. Note that specific powers are given to each chamber or party. This allows for checks and balances. So let's talk about the Senate. It has 100 desks, 1 for each senator. So you'll notice they're all sitting here, and there's even a balcony here for people to view as well. So each state has 2 senators. So 50 states times 2 equals 100 senators. There are 100 senators. The people vote for senators. We vote for senators every 6 years, meaning a senator's term is 6 years. The senators do not have a limit to how many times they can run for senator, so they can keep rerunning if they want to. Our senators of Illinois is Tammy Duckworth, and she's a Democratic Party, and Dick Durbin, who's also a Democrat Party. Oh, yes. Mhm. You bring up a good point, though. His full name is Richard Durbin. Dick is the nickname for Richard, which is really weird.
You wanted to, Dick Durbin or Richard Durbin?
They're both acceptable. You could say Dick Durbin or you could say Richard Durbin. They're both appropriate answers.
Like Joe Biden, Joseph Biden. Tammy, name is Tamara.
Okay. So let's move on to Tammy Duckworth. She was the first Thai American woman elected to Congress. She was the first person born in Thailand elected to Congress. She was the first woman with a disability elected to Congress, the first female doubled amputee in the Senate, and the first senator to give birth while in office. In 2004, she was deployed to Iraq as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot for the Illinois Army National Guard. On November 12, 2004, her helicopter was hit by an RPG and she lost her legs and partial use of her right arm. I think it's just a really cool, depressing story, but not many people can say that. So she's like extremely powerful and so strong, I feel, to keep pursuing and growing in the government. And then we have Dick Durbin. He was elected to the US Senate on November 5th, 1996, and he was reelected in 2002, 2008, 2014, and 2020. Like I'd mentioned before, you're allowed to rerun as many times as you'd like. As long as
Thinking about retirement.
a lot of people don't.
No.
A lot of people don't want to retire. So both senators represent all the people of the state, and the state is not divided into two halves. So Tammy doesn't have half of Illinois, and Dick doesn't have the other half of Illinois. They're all sharing Illinois together as a whole. So now let's move on to the House of Representatives. There are 435 voting members in the House of Representatives. The U.S. representatives are elected for 2 years, 2-year terms, but they can run for office however many times as they want. There is no limit, just like our dear Richard Durbin. The number of representatives for each state is determined by the state's population. That is important to remember. That is on your 100. And some states have more representatives than other states because they have larger populations. If you look here, it's the map of the US. You'll notice that some states have more, like California, because California's population is like a lot. It's so much. Versus Idaho, which has 2. Or even Maine, just 2. And then you have these over here with 1s. We have 19. But yeah, you'll notice everyone has a different amount depending on the people living there. Not a lot of people live there. For being the largest state in the country, not a lot of people live there. I wouldn't want to live there. So I don't blame people for not wanting to live there. So since it's such a small population, you only have 1. Our Illinois U.S. representative It's different for everyone, but for if you are in this area code, Raja Krishnamurti is our representative. He is a Democratic, and he is been a representative since 2017.
So this state is super Democrat.
Correct.
Because the representative is Democrat and the senators both.
Correct.
are Democrat.
Illinois.
He's more Republican, yeah.
But that's not where most of the Illinois population is, because that's mostly just green fields, you know. So up north is where there's more population, and that's where all the Democrats are, which is where we are at right now. There's websites online. I also have one posted on Google Classroom. Yes, Sandra? Sure. Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti. Yeah, Raja Krishnamurti.
We say Raja.
Okay, let's try saying it all together one at a time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Raja Krishnamurti. Perfect. Krishnamurti. Yep. I think it's so fun to say. Oh, really? Okay.
And the Murti is like an idol. We make an idol.
So that's why it's a god name.
Indian language.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's very cool. So they were saying Raja Krishnamurti is a god name in India. That's very cool.
Es Christmas, y yo decía Christmas, de Navidad. No, es Christmas. No. Krishna. Okay, say it again.
Krishna Murti.
Krishna Murti. Raja.
Krishna
Murti.
I'm gonna remember.
The best way to learn is to teach others. Oh, really? That's cool.
Krishna Murti.
Yep, Raja Krishnamurti. Okay. All right. All right, moving on. If I can get everyone's attention back, please. You want? All right, if I can get everyone's attention, please, thank you. So let's talk about the Speaker of our House. It's Mike Johnson. I was like, wait, is this? Yeah, this is correct this time, I promise. And he was elected into office on January 2023. All right. Any questions on this?
Is he also Democrat? Mike Johnson?
Yeah, I'll have Cindy look that up for you. In the meantime, we'll keep moving on. Just let me know when you get it, Sydney. All right. So now we'll move on to our judicial branch. But any questions regarding our other branch? Oh, yes.
He's Republican.
He's Republican.
Oh, interesting.
And he also takes over if our vice president or president can't serve.
But the presidency is Democrat right now.
Correct.
So what is going to happen if both of them cannot serve? And he has to serve. He's the other fight.
Well, I don't think it's ever happened before where Speaker of the House had to step in. So.
But Americans never had 3 Speaker of the House within the same year either. And it happened.
Sure. Okay, let's move on to our judicial branch. Our judicial branch reviews the laws, explains laws, resolves and disputes disagreements, and decides if a law goes against the Constitution. Those are important. The Supreme Court, which is part of the judicial branch, is the highest court in the US and has a complete authority over all federal courts. It has some limits over the states, but no court is above the Supreme Court. Our Supreme Court justices, there are 9 justices on the Supreme Court. They are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. They serve until they resign or die. These are our justices now. I feel like there's a lot more diversity, which is nice.
Ruth something? And then John Roberts.
John Roberts is right here, yep.
Ruth something.
Mm-hmm.
One died last year, right?
I'm not too sure. Do you want to look that up,
Or-
Sid?
What?
If one died last year?
One
Justice? So our Chief Justice, which is this guy up front here, is the person in charge of the Supreme Court. His name is John G. Roberts Jr. He is the 17th Justice. Even though he is on the highest official, his vote is equal to the rest of the justices. So he doesn't equal 3 votes because he's higher than everyone. He's just one single vote like everyone else. The powers are divided between the state and federal governments. Federal powers, which is our federal governments, have they can print money, they can declare war, they can create an army, and they can make treaties with other nations. I believe, is it just one that you have to remember of these? Or 2? Do you remember? Was it just one? Was it one? So you just have to know one of these. From my understanding of treaties, that'd be like negotiations or peace and stuff like that if you want to work with other nations as well. So the state powers now. They provide schooling and education. They provide protection, which is our police. They provide safety, like our fire department. They give driver's license. They approve zoning and land use. And zoning is how the land is used, whether you have a business or property. So I don't know if you guys ever had to like build on your property before or fix anything. I know I've had. It was super annoying to get permits from to get that worked on. So that's what that is. Our governor is the leader of the state. His job is in the state government. It's similar to the president in the federal government. The governor is state, the president is federal. Just remember those 2 distinctions. The powers of the governor are different depending on the state. So if you're living in a different state, you might have different obligations to do. Our governor is J.B. Pritzker, and he's also Democratic. Pritzker.
What is that, Polish? Pritzker.
Not too sure.
Polish.
Pritzker. Mm-hmm. Huh?
No, I call him pretzel.
Pretzel. Close enough, I guess. No, don't say pretzel. Pritzker. Huh? Just JB Pritzker, unfortunately, since that's his last name. All right, do we have any questions on our branches at all before we move on to our review? Any questions? Okay. So let's move on to our test questions here. Can we name one branch or part of the government? Edgar? Congress? Maria? President, okay. Anyone else? Judicial, nice. Anyone? Okay. So we have Congress, legislative, president, executive, the courts, or judicial. Any questions here? What stops one branch from becoming too powerful? Rosa? Checks and balances. Anything else? Perla? Separation of power. Good job, you two. What is the rule of law? Farah? Everyone must follow the law. Anyone else? Okay. Everyone must follow the law. Good job. Leaders must obey the law. Government must obey the law. No one is above the law. I think you just need to know one of these. Just one? Yeah. Who is in charge of the executive branch? Arlen? The president. Yes, thank you. Joseph? Correct? I think I remember.
Josue.
Josue, okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, the president. We elect a president for how many years? 4 years? Nice. What month do we vote for president? November. Nice job. What is the name of the United States of the president now? Raise your hand if you know the answer. Okay, Joe Biden, good job. So we have Joe Biden. You could say Joseph Biden, or you could just say Biden. What is the name of the vice president of the United States now? Farah? Kamala Harris, yes. You could say Kamala Harris or just Harris.
Okay, is a typical name for you, Kamala? It's not Kamala.
This is what I want to ask you the pronunciation, like which way is it Kamala or Kamala?
I always say Kamala.
It's just like Kamala, they're like, there's different pronunciations, it doesn't matter as long as you're saying the name.
I think so because I would say it's Kamala, but everyone has like their own way. Americans have their own way of saying, but I think it's Kamala.
Kamala or Kamal?
I'm thinking of sound of K, so that's what I say Kamala.
Kamala.
Kamala. Kamala Harris. Kamala.
If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? Rosa? The vice president. Good job. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? Speaker of the House. And who is it? Arlen? Thank you. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? Maria? Oh, guys, let's raise our hand, please. I know we're excited, but let's please raise our hand. Thank you, Maria. Who signs bills to become laws? Perla? The president, yes, thank you. Who vetoes bills? Maria? The president? Nice. What does the president's cabinet do? Farah? Advises the president, yes. What are two cabinet level positions? Can someone give me two? Maria?
Secretary of Education, Secretary of State.
Yes. Anyone else have anything different?
Secretary of the South, the state, and the agriculture. And secretary of the. Oh, yeah, president too, right? Vice president.
Vice President, yep. Yep. Anyone else have something different? You have Secretary of Transportation? Christina, you know something else?
Secretary of Education.
Yep.
Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Transportation.
Yep.
Vice President, General Attorney.
Yep. Those are all good. There are 14 choices. Was it 14 or no, 16 choices. You can pick from here. Personally, Attorney General. Yep. So personally for me, I find Vice President and Attorney General to be easiest. But it's really depending on you on what you find is easiest. But you just need to know two of them. I like the Attorney General and Vice President, but that's just me. Everyone's minds are different.
Education and the Secretary of State.
Okay. What are two major political parties in the United States? Can you raise your hand? Farah? Democrat and Republic. Nice. What is the political party of the president now? Maria? Democratic. Who makes federal laws? Edgar? Congress? And Senate and the House of Representatives. Or you could also say U.S. or national legislator. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? Carla? Senators and House of Representatives. How many U.S. senators are there? Maria? 100. Nice. And we elect a U.S. senator for how many years? Yes? 6? Good job. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? Sandra? Dick Durbin? Anyone know the other one? Tammy Duckworth. Nice. Who does a U.S. senator represent? Perla? All people of the states? Yes. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? Farah? 436, actually. I was like, wait, that sounds really weird.
But you said that we add one member.
Let me double check that previous slide.
Let's see,
Tell you what.
that we had one in one state.
Let me see up here.
In the map,
Oh, this?
you said but we lost another one.
Yeah, it's not current.
It's
435 here. It should be 435. Can you confirm that for me? Here, let me just change this. Bam, we're good. It is 435. Okay, I pulled these directly from Annie's slides, so yeah, it is 435. was like, that doesn't sound right either. Okay. We elect a representative for how many years? Yes? 2? 4?
Yeah.
Is it 2?
4 is for president, 6 for
It's-
senator, 2 for.
It's I don't know why these are wrong. Representatives for how many years? It's 2. It should be 2. I remember reading that one too. Yeah, correcting these. All right, let's see if you guys can catch any more mistakes then. Name your US representative.
Okay.
Sandra? Uh-huh. Yes. She's very, I think that's considered correct still, so you are fine. But yes, Krishnamurti. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Yes? Because they have more people. Any other answers? Far? They have more population. Anyone else? Because of the state's population, because they have more people, or because some states have more people. Those are 3 appropriate answers that you could say. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? Arlen? Mike Johnson. I made sure that one was correct. What does the judicial branch do? Maria? Explain laws? It's okay. Huh? Review laws? So it explains laws, yes, and reviews laws. It resolves disputes with disagreements. It decides if a law goes against the Constitution. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? Yes. 9? Let's see if this one's right. Yes. What is the highest court in the United States? The Maria? Supreme Court? Yes. Oh. Also, he's writing on here. Oh no. It'll be a nice touch of the presentation for now. Decorative. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? Perla? John Roberts. And you can also say John G. Roberts Jr., which personally I think is longer, so it's not worth it. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the state government. What is one power of the states? Rosa? Yep. Anyone else? Yep. Give driver's license. Farah? This one's state. I don't think I think that was federal. Education. Yeah, I think that was the other one, but you had the right idea. Provides schooling and education. It provides protection, provides safety. It gives driver's license, and it approves zoning and land use. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? Farah, do you know this one? Yes, print money. Anyone else? Yep. Rosa, you had your hand up? I'm sorry? Declare war. Anyone else? So you can print money, you can declare war, they can create an army, or they can make treaties with other nations. Who is the governor of your state now? Maria? J.B. Pritzker, yes. All right, do you want to take this over? Let me give you this. This would be the next one. Before we move on to reading and writing, does anyone have any questions on the civics portion of it? No questions? All right, well, then you can take it away, Sydney. Just make sure the mic can catch you. For reading? Reading is first.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's gonna be 10 to 16, I think. I do it in sections of 6.
All right, is the reading on here?
Mhm.
Okay. You guys ready for reading? Okay, cool.
Oh, we have a hand raise?
I think it's been like that the whole time. It didn't go down. I don't know why. Do you want to do one person or like group read?
I'm sorry,
Do you want to do one person read or group read?
whatever you prefer. I'll let you decide on how you want to leave it. I usually do one.
Okay. I'm gonna do the slides and then just raise your hand if you want to read. Somebody want to read this one? Rosa? Mm-hmm. Who can vote? Perla? Mm-hmm. Why do people want to be citizens? Number 3. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Name one right on the Bill of Rights. Name one right on the Bill of Rights. Mm-hmm. When is Columbus Day? Maria? Mm-hmm. What city was the first capital of the United States? You can go. Who was the second president? You're close. Who was the second president? And that's the last one. If everybody can get out a sheet of paper for the writing
You can
portion.
put the next slide. No, that's it.
Oh. Oh, right. If everybody can take out a piece of paper, everyone can have one.
Just make sure that they can hear you. And let them know that they can type it out.
Guys, we're gonna do the writing section. If you guys can just type your sentences in the chat, please. Amy will be looking at them and correcting them for you guys. Everybody ready? First sentence is citizens can vote. Citizens can vote. Citizens can vote. Everybody good? Okay, number 2 is people want to vote. People want to vote. People want to vote. Want to vote. People want to vote. We're just doing the writing section on this. People want to vote. Everybody good? Okay, number 3 is freedom of speech is one right. Freedom of speech is one right. Freedom of speech is one right. Yes?
I don't know if that R is capital.
Freedom of speech is one right. Everybody good? Columbus Day is in October. Number 4 is Columbus Day is in October. Columbus Day is in October. Everybody good? The next one is New York City was the first capital. New York City was the first capital. New York City was the first capital. Everybody good? The next one is Adams was the second president. Adams was the second president. Adams was the second president.
Bien, de las 10.
Last one. New York, oh, that's the one. Yeah, that was last one.
Adams, like the Adams family.
Do I have any volunteers for 1 and 4? Any volunteers for 1 and 4? Do I have a volunteer for 4? Number 4. Four. Do I have a volunteer for number 2? Number 2. Would anybody on Zoom want to do number 6? And you can just write it on the screen. I don't know how to.
Using correct.
Is it offline or long run?
No, big one.
And then
Excuse me, 3. It's number 3. Number 2. Number
is
2.
number 3?
People want to vote.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, okay. I didn't know.
There we go. Somebody want to do number two?
Easy things.
Yeah.
Can I get a volunteer for 2 and 5, please? 2 and 5.
Oh.
Everybody. Volunteer. I got a volunteer. Thank you. Can I get a volunteer for number 5, please? Volunteer for number 5. Anybody?
Thank you, Sandra.
I appreciate it. Oh, that's okay, that's what it is. Can I get somebody to do number 6? No. Can I get a volunteer for 6, please? Thank you. Thank you. Is this okay, everybody?
I got a question.
Yes.
Freedom of speech. I know that when you say religion, speech is lowercase, but when we say freedom of speech, it's not a noun, and the S should be large. I mean capital.
Yeah, it could be capitalized, yes. I mean, that uppercase on that list more like uppercase, but it's any other question?
There's nothing else planned. Nothing else planned. Here are the answers. Let me see if I can somehow clear this out for you guys. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. Back to this. So here's the answers I have in case you guys couldn't see it on that whiteboard too well. Any questions on these sentences? All right, so next class, we're gonna just be reviewing and we're gonna talk about wars. My contact info is down there and so is Sydney's. If you haven't signed into our sheet on that whiteboard, please do so. Me and Sydney will stick around if you guys have any questions. I know we're letting you guys out early, so I hope you guys enjoy that beautiful day outside at least. So it was nice out there. Yeah. I'm sorry? Oh, did you want me to? Farah? Okay, let me pull that up for you. before we do so, any questions here on Zoom before I stop it? Alicia, Gilberta, any questions?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, awesome then. Well, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or text me. If there's any questions or concerns you may have. Okay. Take care, guys.
Yeah.